Hi, welcome back. I want to revisit a little bit of a topic in a tutorial that we did a few days ago about making paper flowers from magazine pages. I got a lot of comments, and one of them was that my camera angles were weird, and then one of them was like, I didn't understand it all. So I thought I would revisit it because right now tis the season of flyers. Okay, tis the season of when you get your Sunday paper here in America. It is filled with every sales flyer possible. So the flowers that you see that I'm holding in my hand and that are right back here are all made from, and I'm not a big box store person, so I don't like to promote them. I don't think they need it. But I get this stuff in my mailbox, and I know all of you do too, and this is from Costco, and these flowers were made from this Costco flyer, all of them, and even some more. I made some really cool small ones as well. This whole little thin book of pages is like 113 pages. You can get a lot of flowers from it, and the only reason why I'm sharing it with you is I don't want you. I get these comments of like, oh, if I could start this craft, or I could start this project if I could go to the scrapbooking store, if I had the supplies. You have everything you need right in your own home, okay? Some of these flowers, this one I made from a punch, this one I cut by hand, okay? This one is made from punches, and this one is cut by hand. You can do it. You don't need anything. You need yourself. You have a lot of junk mail. Start practicing. Make fun things. Enjoy the process. Really all you need is your junk mail and some scissors. So I want to show you what I got in my Sunday paper. And yes, it's another big box store flyer, but I want to show you what I made from it. So I'm going to put all these away. And so, are all of you heavily into the Christmas season buying frenzy? I'm not this year. I made a conscious decision. Yes, I have one child at home, as you guys all know, that she's young, 10, and then all my other kids are grown. And, with my partner, we made a conscious decision that we're just not going to consume if we can help it. And we're just going to enjoy ourselves and have fun. Now, those of you that are consumers, have at it if you enjoy it. In my Sunday paper came this flyer. Yes, another big box store, okay? And it is 16 pages long, and what I want to show you what I made with these 16 pages, okay? These 16 pages of flyer, the same thing I made with the same exact thing. Are you ready? So I never want to get another comment again that I don't have supplies. Are you ready? This is what I made from that 16-page flyer. Do you see it? This is what I made from that flyer. And all of this. I made all this paper garland, which you could use in your gift wrapping, put it on your holiday tree, put it in your journals, in your smash books. I made all this, and all I did was, I did use a punch. I used a 1 1/4 inch punch. Okay? You don't need one. You could hand draw one, make a template, and fold a whole bunch just like you did in school, and then cut them all bunch out at once. I did use this punch, and they are double-sided. So there's 2 punches per little round because it's fairly thin. Okay? But I made this really nice size garland, which would look great on a handmade card, would look great on a package, right? It's so fun. Look great in a journal, great in a smash book, look great in some Happy Mail. And then I made all of these flyers from that magazine. Can you believe it? How many of us have thrown away this thing that comes in our Sunday paper every week when we knew we could make this? So I'm going to go through it step by step, and I'm going to show you again how to make them with a punch, how to make them, hand cut them, You know, it's just origami style flowers. Now on some of them, I did add the back of my stuffing box. And on this one in the middle, I cut these little bits. But isn't it great? So I'm going to show you how you can make all these flowers. All right? You know what? I'm going to keep this one out, and then I'm going to put these others up, and then at the end, we'll pull them all out again and look at them all together. So, I don't know what you guys are up to today, but besides making flowers, I'm making a really cool wreath. I'm making a bunch of cool stuff for the holidays and for people that I really love and care about. I decided that my consumption or whatever I was going to do had to be something I could make or could be consumable, like cookies or brownies or something somebody wanted. And as you know, I'm making those handmade bags, which I will hopefully have a little video for you guys in the next couple days when I get a few more of them done. Now, I have decided that 8 works for me. Now, you can decide whatever you want, but I like the thickness of them, right? So these are cut on the 1 1/4 inch punch. You don't need a punch to do it. Just draw a circle around it with make yourself a template like I did out of this stuffing box, and then fold your paper. In fact, I'll show you how to do that too. Just give me a minute here. So let's do 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now what I have noticed with these flowers is, let me get one out and I'll show you, is that, let's find a colorful one. Okay, what I have noticed is you don't necessarily see what's right in the front, but what you see are like the back 2 or 3, and then those are kind of important. So if you want it to have a color or a flavor, I like the randomness, but if you wanted to go through and sort out, like through your mat, like this page, for instance, is all blue. If you wanted to cut out all the blues and sort them, and you wanted them to have a really blue color, you want to make sure like the first 2 or 3 are really blue, and then the last center one is the color that you're wanting. So I have 8 pieces here, and I'm going to put this really dark purple one on the bottom, and I'm going to put another dark one, and then it doesn't matter, and then I think I'm going to end with blue, just for the heck of it. Alright, we're going to use my very functional handy dandy tool. Are we all ready for this? My crooked push pen. Can you guys all see it? And we're going to push it through the middle of your pieces. Now, I'm using brads, but as I mentioned before, you can sew it. You can use a brad of any kind, any size. I happen to have, someone gave me these, that's why I'm using them. They're Stampin' Up! Brads. Here, can you see them? They're little bitty tiny mini brads. I have no idea what they cost. Someone gave them to me, and I'm using them up. Now you don't see the center of the flower, so the color does not matter. So don't get all caught up in that. Okay, and then what I do is I go back and I individually, you can poke a few at a time, but I'm just going to individually poke them through the center or put them back through the hole where I've used my push pin. This is so simple. This is a plain circle. Anybody can do it. Now, I want you to keep in mind that the papers that we're using are really thin, okay? So, if you're going to glue them down on a package or put double-sided tape, go and cut out from a packaging. Like, I've saved all of my stuffing boxes, right? All of my product packaging like this, and this is what I'm putting on the base of most of my flowers, because it's sturdier, and I know if I want to use Scotch tape or glue or however I want to put it on my piece, they're going to be able to pick it up and reuse it again if they want to, but it also gives it a sturdier base. Okay, so just punch it out, have at it. Use your push pin, you know, find the center, use your push pin. You can put any side up or down, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and put the brown side in. So the stove top is on the back. Pull your brad apart. Now if you were going to sew it, I don't know if I haven't sewn it with the cardboard. The cardboard might be more difficult to sew. You might want to think about that. Not if you were going to hand sew it, but if you were going to sew it with your machine. Okay, so you just start, you have to gather them up one at a time. It makes it, look, you don't have to, but it makes a better flower. So how many of you have, what have you guys made or thinking of making for your holiday projects? You guys pretty much know mine. I'm going to make t-shirt shopping bags, making a junk journal, making a friend a pair of earrings. I'm actually making someone some pajamas, making someone some sleeping shorts. And then I think I'm going to make like homemade salsa and, you know, see what's in season right now and here and make stuff from that. Like oranges and lemons are in season. I have a friend that has the most amazing lemon tree. Maybe I'll make some lemon curd or make some, you know, like sort of marmalade style jelly with lemon. I don't know. She has oranges too. I don't know if the oranges are good. Okay, so I've pulled it all the way up and all that's left is the base. Okay, can you see that? All that's left is the base, and now all we're going to do is open it back up. Now the cool thing about this is that it's so forgiving. If you don't like what you've done, scrunch up again. Now for these smaller flowers, I might use a smaller base punch, but this is the same size as the petals. So before I use this, I may glue it down if I choose to use the cardboard. But voila, how easy is that? And how cute is that? On a card, on a present, you could even make your own garland for your Christmas tree using your throwaway flowers. Okay, so we've made that one. Now, out of one page, these are the punches that I got out of one page. So that was 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 2 flowers. That's 3 flowers. 3.5 flowers using 8 1.25 inch circles from one page of junk mail. From one regular 8.5 by 11 piece of junk mail. You know, it's so cool, right? So let's make one more and we'll do it without the base. And we'll put a red one at the top, or maybe we'll put a red one on the bottom. And remember, it's really the first 2 that matter because that's really what you see. And then the rest, just give it some color. Now you can decide if this is too many petals for you. You can make that decision. You know, you don't have to have 8 just because I've done 8. I just think it looks. I like full, you know, more full flowers, but you can do it however you want. I really love these little brads. They're probably they're probably expensive. I don't know if I'd buy them if they're super expensive, but they were a gift, so I thought. I'm enjoying using them so much. It looks like there were 200 in a package. So they're probably fairly economical. Go on Amazon Prime. You know, as far as big box or commercial things, I actually do support them because living in Hawaii, a lot of places, even though they're like, you go and you get all excited about, oh, I want to get that, and then they won't ship here. So it's so frustrating. I mean, it's the same postage rate as it is anywhere else in the United States. I mean, obviously not UPS, but not UPS ground, but everything else. So I really support businesses that really support us because we're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It's like, so I definitely have an Amazon Prime membership and I use it. Now, if you don't like what you've done, you can rebend it up and start over. You know? Rebend it up and start over. It's not, you can't really make a mistake with this. Imagine if somebody sent you a whole box of Happy Meal, whole big envelope of Happy Meal, and it had all these really cool flowers in it. Awesome. What do you think? I really like it. So that is flower number 2. And let's do flower number 3. And then we'll move on to freehand flower. And then I want to show you something so fun that I was cleaning out my, I don't remember what I was doing today. I was looking for something that I had lost in my purse, and my family calls my purse, even though I have the smallest handbag possible. My family calls my purse the black hole. So they say it sucks things up in it. So I was searching something in the black hole, looking for something, and I will show you what I found, and then I'll show you what I made, which I'm super excited about. Now, you don't have to have a punch. As I said to you, you can hand draw this, make yourself a template. And you can use anything for your template. You know, use the bottom of your paint bottle, use a pill bottle, use anything. You remember when you were a kid and you needed to circle, you'd go to the kitchen and get a plate, get a, you know, a bowl. So everybody has something to make a template from. You know, if you want to buy a punch, I would suggest you buy this one. I really love, and I'll tell you that somebody gave me all these punches, so I'm sorry I didn't buy them, so I can't tell you. Of course, the brand of it is so dark I can't see it. I don't know. I'll have to. Oh, it's a Stampin' Up! Punch. There you go. It's a Stampin' Up! Punch, a 1 1/4 Stampin' Up! Punch, and I love it. I've used it. I don't know. I had a friend that sent me. She for whatever reason decided she wasn't doing paper crafting as much anymore, and she knew I was really getting into it, so she sent me a bunch of stuff. So I was so grateful. I probably wouldn't have bought the stuff she sent me because it wouldn't have known to buy it, but it was awesome. So there you go. That's flower number 3. And then we have the half flower, which I'm gonna wait and use them together. So this is from one page, 3 and 4 little bits. Okay, we'll do a couple of more things, and then I'm gonna show you my treasures from the bottom of my purse. Okay, so if you take your flyer, this is for those of you that don't have a punch. You can use anything. I'm loving these lightweight things. You know, I didn't used to save. I'm all about the cardstock and the you know, hefty weight things. But I have to tell you, for making these flowers, this is awesome. So I'm folding my page until I get it to the desired size I want, and I think I can fit 2 on here. So I have a marker. Let's see if I have a bigger marker. Hang on 1 second. So I have been dyeing fabric and doing some glimmer mist, and my hands look terrible. I used this coffee staining glimmer mist, which I love, and now all my fingernails are full of glimmer mist, and which is not a bad thing, but if you're not a crafter, you may think, what is she doing? Okay, I drew this one too far over, so I'm going to have to move it over. Flip it over. Go to the edge. I want to try to get as much on this little page as I can. So we are going to definitely put up our holiday tree in the next few days. My 10-year-old has reminded me today that it is Christmas time and we do not have up our tree, but her friends have up theirs. So nothing like a little peer pressure to to motivate your parents to put up their tree. Okay, so now this is quite a few thicknesses, right? I'm going to just cut it out as if it's one, just the same way you would, like you would cut, you know, multiple things when you were a kid. Remember, we used to make your paper dolls and all kinds of stuff. Don't worry if it's not perfect. It's petals of a flower. Don't worry if your circle isn't absolutely round. Don't worry if it's not exactly how you drew it. It's perfect. Okay, here's one set. And then I'm going to do another set. Now, I know you are never going to view your junk mail and junk flyers the same way again, because I certainly don't. I look at all of it as like a supply I didn't have to buy. Okay, so here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. That's 2 flowers. And 7, 8. 3 flowers and 5, 6, 7, 8. So you actually get more if you cut it up by hand than you do if you bunch. So that would be 4 flowers from one sheet of, oh, and I probably could get a little bit more right here. Let's see. Wow. So there you go. Having a punch is not the best way. You could actually get, I was getting 3.5 flowers out of punching it and cutting it. I get 4, let's see how many I get. 4, let me cut this out and we'll know. Now, you know, if you wanted to like fringe it, you could do that too. That would be super cool. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you get 5 flowers if you cut it freehand. There you go. The freehand has it. Now save these bits. If you guys want to follow and make along with me, next week we're going to make, or whenever, ooh, I could even have more. Wow. We're going to make some serendipity paper next week. And for all of you that don't know what that is, it's sort of like one-of-a-kind paper where you use your scraps and your bits. And for your serendipity paper, what you'll need is like a garbage bag or a plastic bag, because you're going to glue on top of it. It's not going to stay on your bag, but you're going to use it as a surface. You cover your surface with plastic, or you could just use a garbage bag, or you need a fairly, I don't know, depending on how big you want your paper. I'm thinking that we should make a piece that's like at least big enough to cover for a journal. You know, at least like a 9 by 12 piece of serendipity paper, at least, or maybe more. I mean, so if you can find yourself a small trash bag, maybe we can make an 11 by 17 piece of paper. And then save all your bits. Save all the various bits. It doesn't have to be magazine bits, but you can save anything. So, you know, save all these little bits, and we're going to use them for our serendipity paper. You're going to need all your scraps, a trash bag, a foam brush, you know, a foam paintbrush, or a paintbrush that spreads widely, that, you know, is easy to use, and some like Elmer's school glue, the cheapest glue you can have. I mean, you can use your expensive glue, but it's not necessary. So if you hand cut from one sheet, you get, look, you get 5.5 flowers if you cut with one sheet. That's great. Save these bits. Okay. So now let me show you. Let's cut one freehand, or I'll take this one apart, and it'll be easier for us to see. And then I think I have one already sort of in process. So let me just take the brad out of the back of this, just so you can see. I folded this origami style, okay? The front has the same little flower, just less pieces as the center bit, okay? The back is all of these separate pieces of paper that I folded, okay? Just like you would making origami flowers, all right? And so there's no exact way. I mean, I'll just show you what I do, and then you guys can figure out what works for you. Like, I think the less rules, the better. Okay? So, let's take another piece of paper from our throwaway catalog, right? And then if you look at the largest flower is probably this one. So fold it, so let's see, how big would that be? That was probably I don't know, an eighth of the page? I don't know. Maybe a sixth of the page, I guess, if you cut it down the middle and then you cut off. So, let me see, I have a ruler under here, I'll tell you how big it is. It is 4.5 by 4. So this is 4.5 by 4. So then what we would do is we would fold, I may not cut this exact flower, but I'm just showing you how to fold it, right? Fold it. You don't ever want to cut the center point. That's what keeps your flower. That's the center. You know, you want to bend it up. Sometimes I bend it again just because I want extra whatever. And then cut, just like you did when you were a kid cutting snowflakes. How many of you made those snowflakes when you were kids? I certainly did, and I really loved it. Okay? And then you're going to open it up, and that is going to be one of your flower petals. So in this flower, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did 8. Now I cut them really big so you could see it. If I was going to make this flower to give, I think I would make it much more. I would make it thicker because I like the thicker style flower, like this one. See, it's smaller, but it has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This one has 10 petals, okay? So when you're cutting your freehand flowers, and because this paper is so thin, you want to cut more. So let's cut a couple more petals. And it doesn't matter how big or how small. You decide, okay? You just always got to start with folding it in half, and then folding it in half again, and then folding, keeping that point sacred, right? And then folding towards that center fold, and then you can decide if you want to fold again, you can, or you don't have to. I'm not going to this time. And I'm just going to cut a couple of, you know, and the cool thing is if you don't like it, once you open it up, fold it back up and continue to cut. Okay? And then there's another layer. Okay? That's all there is to it. There is nothing, absolutely nothing to it. This is all there is to it. And if you're making it from throwaway papers, you're not going to feel bad about practicing what you've done and getting it right or wrong. Right? You're not going to feel bad about it because it was like, I was going to recycle it anyway. You know, I gave it a new life by making flour out of it. Okay, there you go. One more again. Just practice. Just practice, 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 and practice. Now, the key to a full flower is having multiple pieces, being different sizes, and layering them. Okay? So, that is the key. Multiple pieces and layering them. Okay, so let's go back with these new added pieces. And look, there's nothing wrong. That one's not perfect, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to fold it again. I'm going to fold it again. I'm going to fold it up again. And I'm going to cut a little more until I like what I have. The key is not cutting the point. And if you cut the point and you, so what? You start over again. It's not the end of the world. And if you don't like what you've cut it again. You know, it's just practice and having fun trying new things. So let's go ahead and layer this really big flower that I have and see if the pieces that I've added to it are going to make a difference in in the piece itself, okay? So let's find the biggest piece for the back, which I think is this one, and then layer different colors on it until we get something that we kind of like, and then we'll put it together and see what it looks like. This one I think is kind of big. We're going to add that one in there. This one looks like it's even bigger, so I'm going to put it on the bottom. You know, there's no right or wrong in making paper flowers. There's just fun. You know? Just fun. Okay, where is my handy dandy tool of my, and let me find my little brad. I don't know what I do with it. So back to my Christmas thing. I have given myself a goal to make myself something this Christmas. How many times have you given yourself a goal to make something you would love for Christmas? Instead of waiting for somebody to give you something you want, why don't you give it to yourself? Especially if it's handmade. I so love handmade things, and I can't remember the last time that I made myself something. So I'm going to make myself, here, let me layer that again. I'm sorry, I didn't even know I was on camera. I am going to make myself a junk journal. I told you guys the other day that, you know, I made this journal for a swap for a lady, and I loved the book that the journal was. It was this called Exotic Plants or something. I don't know. I'll show it to you guys on one of the videos. And it's so fun. It is such a fun book. Just the cover of it was so, it inspired me. And I guess I must have talked so much about it that my oldest daughter, the one I told you that is studying engineering and moving to Europe, she ordered it she found a used copy on Amazon and ordered me one. So I am going to make myself, for my own holiday present, my own junk journal. And I'm going to make it in a way that I like, as if I received the best junk journal ever. Now I am on this one going to put the piece of cardboard. I'm going to do it because it's a lot of layers, and I want to be able to glue it down firmly, and this paper is so thin, the flyer paper, that it is, when you put lots of glue on it, it changes. So just start scrunching. So I'm going to make myself my own junk journal, and I'm excited about that. I was thinking about it today, like I found some cool stuff that I'm trying to clean up my space. I told you guys I moved my space from a spare bedroom to my little dining alcove, and it sort of like meandered into our little living space, which, anyway, just my fault, no one else's. No one in my family complains, but it's like driving me a little bit crazy. And I'm going to, so today when I was cleaning up some stuff, I found some really cool bits and pieces from the traveling that I've done, and I'm going to add it to my own personal junk journal, and I'm so excited. I'm like so excited to do it, to make myself my own Christmas present. So if you could, what I'd love it if you would leave in the comments, if you could receive anything from yourself for Christmas, what would it be? Now it has to be handmade. I'm not talking about, you know, I'd receive a new car, or I would receive, I mean, you know, anybody can buy something. You know, if you have the money, you can buy it. But not anybody can make something. And so, okay, I'm opening my flower back up. Alright, what do you guys think? This is the Walmart flyer flower. What do you think? I love it. I so love it. I just so love it. I'm very into it. Okay, now let me show you my very last tangent of the day. Yeah, this is my rant alert. My very last rant alert of the day. Are you ready? Okay. This is what I made. What do you guys think? Let me put them on the white. What do you guys think about these little flowers? Okay. I was going through my bag. Let me zoom down so you can see them. Sorry. Still learning my camera things. So when I was going through my bag, I found a bunch of stuff in my bag, and you're never going to guess what it is. Ready for this? This is what we're going to make our flowers out of. Ready? We're making them out of receipts. We all have these receipts. We have receipts, 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 and more receipts. So this is what I made these two little cool little flowers out of. I made these two little cool flowers out of receipts. This one I used Glimmer Mist on. And I think hopefully I brought the Glimmer Mist over to my table with me. And I will show you what we're going to do. So these were each made out of one receipt. Okay? And I'm going to put the receipts, let's see. I can keep one out and we can make a couple more. Or I can just show you. You guys get the general idea. It's the same process, okay? This is what I painted my Glimmer Mist on. Okay, so this is a Target receipt, okay? And a Walmart, Target, Walmart combined. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, you know, this is that thermal paper, so it's not the same as magazine paper by any means. It is so not the same. So you have to, when you're painting it, you have to be a little bit, this is what I found. You may find something different once you test it out. Okay, so you have to, when you're spraying it, this is just a little wax paper bag, okay? And when I sprayed that little brown one, that's what I was using that brown Glimmer Mist for. Hang on, let's see. This one's an olive green Glimmer Mist. I love this. If you guys haven't gone over to the Canvas Corp website, do it. I'll put a link in the description box below. I love these. I love, love, love these. I'm sorry, I'm not on camera. Let me back up a little bit. Let me zoom out. Sorry, you guys. I'm learning. Learning curve. I love these. Okay, these are so fun to use. They're the Tattered Angels brand Glimmer Mist by Canvas Corp brands, and they're awesome. Okay? Awesome, awesome, awesome. And I think there's a bunch on sale right now. You know, invest in some and try. They come in like all assortment packs. I happen to have like sort of a more earth tone thing because I was doing a project. But anyway, I love them. Okay, super easy to use. You just spray them, right? So this one's green, and they have like a little shine to them. So this is what I found with this paper, is you gotta let it sit, because it's sort of glossy and waxy, and it's not the same. It's not the same as regular paper. So what I did was I wet it and I let it sit, and you just have to let it do its thing, whatever that's going to be, because it's that thermal paper. Okay, and you know, let it sit and let it dry. Now, I think at the end of it all, if you wanted to, you could, after it dries, because it does makes it more brittle, which is like more stiff, which is actually great, because I don't think this thermal paper is very, you know, it's sort of floppy or whatever. But how many receipts do you have? Like 1,005,000, right? Like I do. Okay, so I'm going to just let this one sit and dry for a couple minutes. I don't have a heat gun. I'm going to put that on my Santa Claus Christmas list. Like what I'd like from Santa is a heat gun. I'm going to let this dry a little. And then I'm going to show you, I folded it and I did it exactly the same way I did magazine pages. This one's just cut out with a punch. But I did all of it exactly the same way. I will say that it's a little more difficult to work with. It gets caught in your punches, so you have to, probably be good if you cut it by hand or used a die cutting machine. These I cut by hand, okay? These all I cut by hand, just the same way as I did those big ones. I don't know if you can see them. I'll hold them up for you just a second. Maybe I'll spray them and then you'll be able to see them even better. I cut these origami style flowery making. You know, like you make your snowflakes. Okay, that's all. Let's see, what color is this one? Is this the coffee one? Yes, this is the one that made my fingernails brown because I was spraying. I made other things with it. I was spraying a card I was making. So I told you guys that I spend my money on good quality paints and good quality stuff. So if you want some good stuff, go over there. And you know what? Can I tell you? They ship for free. That was like a deal cincher for me. So tired of, like, first of all, living somewhere where they don't ship, and then they shipped for free, and they've got some amazing things. I've gotten all kinds of cool things. Now I sprayed both sides of mine when I did that little flower that's right there. You don't have to if you don't want to. You know, the kind of cool thing is spraying them on this little bag, this little glassine bag. I'm going to end up using it in my junk journal. So I bought these at the drugstore here. I couldn't believe it. They actually had them, like, you can buy a whole box of them for like $2 or $3, something cool, which I was like in shock of. Because nothing in the Hawaiian Islands is cheap. Everything is expensive. So when you can find a good deal on something, you go for it. So a whole new world opened up for me when I decided to, you know, I sometimes keep receipts in my Smash books and stuff like that. Especially because I travel a lot. So I do if they're like in foreign languages and stuff like that. When I went to Colombia, I kept some. And can you see the shine in the shimmer? Isn't it cool? And I was in China and I kept a few, you know, just some fun, like, little remembrances, right? You do have to be careful. It's very thin. Look, I already tore it. But I'm going to lay it back on top of it itself and hope that it self-adheres. If not, I will glue it together. But it needs to dry. I shouldn't be playing with it. I should have sprayed it and let it be. But I can't help it. Okay, look at that cool shimmer. Can you see it? Isn't that cool? I'm going to let that dry. Okay, let's see if this is dry enough. Look at the glitter on this. Can you see? Isn't that amazing? Isn't it great? Well, I'm going to let it dry a few more minutes. If I had a heat gun, we wouldn't have to wait. I should have done this at the beginning of the segment, but I didn't. Okay, so here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's see if we need 8 or more. I don't remember what I put in that flower. Just a circle punch. It's not a scalloped one. Okay, punch a hole in the center. It's a little hard. You'd be surprised, as thin as the paper is, it's a little hard to punch a hole through it. I've got my little tiny brads. But like I said, you don't need these brads. They're not necessary. You could sew it. You could... I wouldn't use wet glue on these. I don't know if they would fare well. Wet gluing them together. I don't know. You could try it. It's only a receipt, and you probably have 1,000 of them in your bag, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so then I'm going to spread it apart. So if you haven't used these Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist, do it. It's a fun. I've used it. I love using it in my junk journals, especially when I'm coloring book pages, and just I've done some really cool stuff. If you meander through some of my videos, I think it's all in. I did some journaling pockets. I think it's like a junk journal flip through or something like that. You can see some of the glimmer misting that I did. Okay, scrunching it the same way you do everything else, whether it's scalloped or round or hand cut, scrunching it to the center. So I want to tell you guys, I know I have a couple of giveaways. I still have a giveaway going on over in my journaling charm video. It's going on until the 10th. I'm going to do a drawing on the 10th of December. And it's a cool little drawing. If you watch the video, it gives you all the details. And then I have a drawing going on. If you subscribe, watch, and like, and comment on all of my videos that are in my series videos, my, 12 days of holiday gift crafting, or they're numbered. And I might number this one too, even though it's a repeat of one I've already done. If you like, subscribe, and comment, what I'm going to do is at the end of my whole video series, which I know is going to be at least 12 of them, but I may do a few more than 12 depending upon how far I get. I'm going to take one of everything that I've made. I'm going to put it in a box and then draw by random.org based on whoever's watched all the videos in the series, liked, subscribed, and commented on each video. I'm going to enter you in a random.org drawing, and maybe you'll be the person that gets one of everything that I've made in this series. So this one, the first one that I did, this is the one I just made. It only has 8 pieces. This one obviously has more, but it's still doable. Isn't that cool? And it's stuff you're throwing away anyway. So let me see if these are dry enough to work with. Now if you had a heat gun, it would be even better, because they are still a little damp and a little soggy, but I'm going to go ahead for time's sake and put them together. And then maybe tomorrow I'll show them in a video if... Now, isn't that cool? Think about all the times you've thrown them away. Think about all of you real junk journalers out there who are like avid junk journalers, and you make a trashy junk journal and you've smash booked your receipts, but you haven't. I am definitely going to put a piece of cardboard behind these. Let me find one. You're an avid junk journaler, or a smash booker, but you haven't added your receipts or used anything with them. I'm going to take it off with this little flower. I know I have more on this little table. If you see my little space here, it is tiny that I'm shooting from. It's a little tiny card table in the middle of my little space here. And so instead of having room to really grow, I don't. Now it is really a little too wet for me to crunch up yet. It needs to dry a little more. But I will definitely, after it dries, but you get the idea, right? I mean, you totally get the idea. You could probably use acrylic paint on this too. I mean, I haven't tried, but I bet you could. There you can get a little bit of an idea. I scrunched a little bit. I mean, for a receipt, it's gorgeous. I mean, these are receipt flowers. This one's not dry, but tomorrow it'll be dry, because look how crunchy this one is. This was the same way, but like, look. So I may need to put a few more petals in this bigger one. And so this is the freehand one. Tomorrow I'll show you my video tomorrow, how they came out. So save your receipts, cut them up, punch them, send me a comment, tell me what you make out of them. I mean, it's just so much fun. And I'd love it if you would write in the comments. I'll do a little giveaway for this video too. This is video number 2. So if you tell me in the comments what you're going to make for yourself for Christmas. If you could make anything, whether you make it or not, but if you could, what would it be? I will send you some of my handmade flowers. I will send you some of my handmade flowers, and I will send you some of my handmade garland from my flyer flowers. I'll send you some of my flyer flowers and some of my garlands. Thank you guys always for watching, listening to my rant alerts. Go collect your junk mail, collect your flyers, collect your, even your delivery things, and make something out of nothing. It's not as hard as you think. Okay, one last thing. For those of you, so if you want to enter the giveaway, like, subscribe, and put a comment on if you could make yourself anything for the holidays, what would it be? And then You know, I'll do a drawing. I'll do a drawing on, today is Tuesday. It's Tuesday after midnight here, so I'll do a drawing on Thursday, Hawaii time. After Thursday, I'll do a drawing Friday. And I will select who's going to win. Okay, so one of the projects that I'm doing tomorrow is also junk mail related. I'm going to show you how to make some holiday cards out of, this is like a telephone ad that I got. Okay, so it's about, I want to say it is, I think I looked at it, it's like, I wrote it down on one of these. Hang on. I'll tell you how big it is. It is 9 1/4 by 5 1/2. Yours doesn't have to be that way, but that's what I'm using. And it's not super thick, but it's not thin paper. Bring this, some scissors, some paint if you'd like to paint your piece, and 2 book pages from anything, you know, like just writing. They don't have to have any images on them. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to teach you how to make the base of any sort of a greeting card, or anything that you, any greeting card or just Happy Mail card, to make it out of your junk mail. And I'm going to show you how to make that. And if you bring an extra piece of paper, I think so, if it's 9 1/2, I had one folded up here. Anyway, bring a regular 11 1/2 by 8 1/2 by 11 sheet of paper as well. It can be from anything, and I'll show you how to make an envelope for your card as well. So we'll make a card and an envelope, some tissue paper, and a black marker. I'm going to use my little microns, which I love. But you want a thin-tipped black marker, some plain white tissue paper, or just not one with patterns on it. It can be any color. A piece of junk mail that's sort of heavy, some glue, pair of scissors, and we'll make along together tomorrow. Anyway, big hugs to you all, and as always, from my heart to your heart, I am sending you so much aloha. And thank you so much for spending your time with me. Take care. Until tomorrow.